Did you see that? You see that shit there? That was pretty fucking cool, right? That right there was a lost art form that we haven't seen in modern day media in a very fucking long time. And you might not be thinking what I'm thinking that is. I'm talking about superhero suit-ups and practical looking superhero suits. You'll understand why I'm saying practical looking suits later in this video. But we'll get to that. If you're a modern day Marvel fan, or you've been watching superhero content in the modern age for a fucking hot minute, then you're very familiar with nanotechnology, nanobots, okay? That's because it is so fucking oversaturated in current media. You see, there used to be a day and age, like let's say TASM 2, let's say just TASM Spider-Man in general, or you're a little kid back in like the 2010s, and you get to go see the new Spider-Man movie, and you see this brilliant fucking Spider-Man suit. It's moving with everything. The fabric moves, and it looks amazing on camera, and it has this presence, and it looks like it fits into the world. Like it looks like it's in the world. It's a part of the world. But you go to see the new Spider-Man Homecoming later down the line, and you see this bright red fucking weird CGI suit. And I'm not saying that the MCU Spider-Man suits look bad, but there's this very distinct CGI look to them. This is because, at least in Homecoming, I'm not sure about the other movies, but in Homecoming, they decided to use CGI on the entire suit in all scenes that it's on to keep it consistent with the rest of the movie. Meaning there is not one scene in Homecoming where it is just full practical suit the entire time. That just gives it this very jarring look, like it's almost like too perfect to be real, if you get what I mean. You know, when you look at TASM 2, even in the scenes with CGI and shit like that, they would animate creases and ripples in the suit, especially in the swinging scenes, to give it that kind of like that realistic effect of like swinging in air, tugging and movement and shit like that. And I feel like that's something that we're really missing. You know, going back to the Iron Man scene and just Iron Man in general, when you watch Iron Man 1 and you see that first full-on suit that Tony made, that shit looks crisp. It looks beautiful. It looks like Iron Man, if you get what I mean. You know, it has that metal feel. It looks bulky and heavy. It looks like it could fucking run through a wall and take hits, and it looks like it could take that tank hit that it fucking does.
Jarvis, scan this guy's balls.
Will do.
But when you watch Endgame and Infinity War and shit like that, you see these new suits, these very sleek looking suits, these suits that don't look like they could take that hit, that punch, you know? They don't look like Iron Man. You know, I understand that in the comics and in the media that Tony does develop better and stronger and more sleek and faster suits. And I feel like nanobots, if there's one character nanobots would fit for, it would be Tony. You know, that makes sense in his verse. You know, that makes sense for his character to have nanobots. But why the fuck does Spider-Man have nanobots? Sure, you can argue that in the comics and in certain medias, Peter Parker is, you know, considered a genius as well, and he could make them if he wanted to, but let's ground our Spider-Man a little bit. You know, I feel like nobody really is watching or reading Spider-Man material to get that fucking scientist genius level aspect of him. You know, like, sure, that's cool and all, but people want to see a more grounded Spider-Man, at least in my opinion. People want to see Peter Parker that struggles through fucking college and struggles financially, struggles with the baddies, the Huz as well. Okay, we know that very fucking well. Spider-Man writers love fucking up him and MJ so much. Thank God for Ultimate Spider-Man, the new run, by the way. A little bit of a pitch here, but that shit is peak, okay, so far. I've seen the first 6, or read the first 6 volumes. He's in a happy fucking family relationship with MJ. Holy shit, there's no way. There's no fucking way. Oh my God. Listen, nobody wants to see that fucking genius level nanobot bullshit, okay? At least with Spidey, especially when he's a 15-year-old fucking kid, 16 at the time when he first got it, I believe. I forget the MCU timeline, but he's a fucking kid. He's not Parker Industries superior Spider-Man Peter. I'm a dumbass little kid, and I'm just trying to get the grasp of everything, Peter, you know? And why the fuck are we giving this kid this crazy tech? And that's why I'm so happy that at the end of Far From Home, we see him abandon kind of all that shit and kind of jump into a full physical suit, which does look more real compared to everything else, which is cool. That's cool that we saw that, but I feel like that should have happened way before, way sooner. That should have been something that happened much earlier in the series, you know what I mean? It's crazy that what was it? 3 or 4 movies. I forget. Well, it feels like 4 because, you know, he's been in other movies and shit like that. But it's crazy that it's been 3 standalone movies, I believe. I might be wrong. And like a movie worth of scenes in other movies, you know, to get to that point. That should have been the standard, you know. The nanobots maybe should have been given to him later, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Moving on from that, you know, I'm a Spider-Man dick rider, so I gotta complain about that. But going back to Tony, you know, we look at the suit, we look at the fucking bulk on that shit. It looks so good, and it's just, we miss that look, you know. Like I personally feel like the endgame suits of Tony look fucking like ass. You know, they just look so sleek and fake and just weird, and the hell, I fucking hate it personally. I miss the bulky look, and maybe that's because I grew up with that era of Marvel where they made Tony have that really bulky Iron Man suit look, you know, like the early 2000s and shit. But that's just what I fuck with personally. You know, all I'm saying is Superhero Squad Tony, that was peak. That was peak. You know, another aspect that we kind of miss out on with a lot of like CGI suits and shit like that is the damaged suit look. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen, well, I shouldn't even say that. I should assume you've fucking seen it. But the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with Tobey, the distinct scenes where Peter has his fucking ripped up like Spider-Man suit, you could see his eye through the suit, shit like that. That's been a very big staple in like any superhero media. Where, you know, that torn up, damaged suit while they're fighting for their life, fighting to save the fucking day and shit like that. And you see you could maybe see like their mask fucked up and all that, so their identity slipping through and shit like that is such a cool thing that we miss out on with those CGI suits. You know, it's much harder to do. You know, like seeing Peter all fucked up, blood all over his suit. Like, that shit goes hard. That shit goes so fucking hard. Oh my god. Peter should not be some invulnerable nano suit motherfucker when his superpowers already make him strong enough. Like, get rid of that shit. You know what I mean? You know, another aspect that we kind of miss out on is watching the hero kind of make their suit. You know, like we had the whole scenes of Tony building the first Iron Man suit, or no, building multiple fucking Iron Man suits, and it kind of gives you that personal experience of seeing him craft and make this fucking machine, this thing that's a part of him that he's gonna be using and wearing the whole fucking movie. And it's the same thing with Spider-Man, you know, there's always been the Spider-Man scenes where he designs his own suit, makes his own suit. It kind of adds to that personal feel, that kind of like, this is a hero that really did this on his own. He made this happen, you know what I mean? I feel like that's something we really miss out on with the nanotech, you know, like sure, Peter in Far From Home, you know, we see him make his own his own suit in the fucking the device, the nanotech device and shit like that, but that's not the same. It doesn't have the same feel. Like, think of Kick-Ass movie, where Kick-Ass, you get that funny fucking scene where he orders all the fucking parts and builds a suit and goes out, and he gets made fun of by the guys he tries to stop and beat the fuck out of. You know, that's something that we kind of miss with that personal, like, rugged, like, fucking bullshit. And I mean, we kind of had that with Homecoming a little bit, but that was more of like a gag almost. You know, we didn't really get to see him design his suit. You know, like Miles Morales, his personal suit goes fucking hard as shit. We get to see that. We get to see him make his own suit. It's such an important aspect that I feel like we kind of miss out on in modern day superhero movies a lot. I feel like we're in kind of an age of bringing back the comic book look of superheroes. This is a very important thing to me. Superheroes are already a fantasy. That's not real. It's fiction. It's already outlandish. Like, nobody's gonna be flying around shooting fucking lasers out of their eyes and being invincible. You know, that's invincible. Nobody's gonna be doing that. So I don't understand why we need to give this like realistic and almost soldier-like look to every single superhero. Captain America is a little understandable in some aspects, but it's almost to the point where they just like, dude, I think his like final suit for the movies was kind of ass. Like, it was just so boring. There was like no flash of it. I feel like that would have been a good time to kind of bring back a more classic look to his character almost. There's this weird look where it's just like everything has to have like a million lines and details and super monotone colors and shit like that. And it just sucks, dude. Like, why not bring back comic book looks? They're loved for a reason. Deadpool and Wolverine, for example, was fucking amazing with this. They brought back so many comic book looks. They finally brought Wolverine on screen with his fucking comic suit. Sure, they did modernize it and make it a little bit like, yeah, that's like a combat suit, which I get, but they kept it mostly true, and it looks fucking awesome. It looked great. The suit looked amazing, and everybody fucking loved it. And that's the thing. They think we won't like it when they do that, but every time there's a comic accurate suit, it's awesome. People love it, and that's because the comic suits are already loved. People already fuck with those. So I don't get what the point of not adapting that. It's already something that people fuck with, you know? For example, Deadpool, his suit is pretty much like, and this is why I love Ryan Reynolds, because he's a glazer for being comic accurate and shit like that, which is fire, you know? I love that. Me too. But he made sure that the Deadpool suit looked comic accurate, and it does, and it looks amazing. And oh my god, I love when they do that. And that's why I really hope with the new Spider-Man suit, they do give it that comic accurate look, because we saw a little glimpse of it at the end of the movie, and it looked kind of like it looked a lot more like a comic suit, and I'm so happy for that. You know, also think of The Boys. You know, The Boys is a really good example of this. They have these really outlandish comic book designs, and honestly, I think the suits look fucking cool. Homelander, like, no bullshit, like as silly of a character he is and shit, he looks sick as fuck. His suit looks cool. You know, it has a very comic book and superhero design, but they make it look fucking cool, because it is cool. It's like we're watching this because we know it's a fantasy. Let us enjoy the fantasy and get enveloped in the fantasy. Like, sure, there's certain characters where it makes sense to give them a military look, like fucking, like Bucky, like the Winter Soldier. Guess what his fucking name is? The Winter Soldier. His whole thing is that he's a Russian fucking sleeper agent. Okay, that makes sense, you know? But like Hawkeye? Like, why give him this, like, dumbed down look, dude? Make him look like the comics. The comics already have a cool fucking look to him, you know what I mean? That purple drip with the fucking horns, whatever the fuck. I kind of forget him a little bit. I know everybody hates the DCEU, me especially. You know, I personally feel like it's pretty fucking dog shit. I don't even care to watch some of the movies. But I will give them this. They are doing really well on the comic suits. The comic accurate suits are just like superhero suits in general. I cannot really complain too hard about a single DCEU suit. I feel like they do them all really well. Maybe the Flash, it looks cool. It looks cool. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna say it's cool. Ezra Miller, don't fucking stab me or some shit, please. I fuck with your suit. Yeah, no, I feel like they all look cool. Especially the in Suicide Squad 2, a lot of the designs and suits were awesome, and they're like fucking Peacekeeper, dude. I love Peacekeeper because he has this like sense of goofiness about him, because like, yeah, it's this guy walking around this goofy looking costume and shit like that, but like, he's so fucking cool. He's a goofy character, but he's sick as fuck. And that's because they play into that outlandish like universe of what superheroes would be like, and it almost turns down how crazy he looks, because everything is crazy. To make sure that I'm not tweaking during my whole fucking yap session shit like that, okay? Because I know there's gonna be some people who disagree with me, even though they're fucking wrong, but I'll humor you guys. I decided to post on TikTok, my TikTok right here, before I made this video, what people's opinions are on CGI nanobots and shit like that, and what they thought about my opinion, personally. So, let's see what the comments are. Damn. That shit did not go. So, the video fucking flopped on TikTok, and, whatever. But we got a few comments. So, T.S. Lennon said, complete CGI suits look so ugly and weird sometimes. Yeah, they fucking do. We know that. We fucking know that. Best suit is your Nightwing from Nick's Vault, my friend. Yeah, he's fucking right about that. My BBL Nightwing was fire. I'm just saying that was the best fucking Halloween costume I think anyone's ever done. Personally, that's just me though. My friend Danny commented, "Show your Lebanon wolf knuckles." What the fuck does this mean, Danny? So, as you can see, that video did horribly fucking bad. You know, that posted horribly fucking bad. You know, there's one way that we could stop my TikTok videos from flopping, and that's by checking out my TikTok. You know, it's right in the... To wrap things up, Nanobots aren't the worst thing in the world. I do think there are certain heroes, like Tony makes sense, you know, for that, especially for that big moment at the end of Endgame where he uses the nanobots to make a gauntlet. Shit like that, that makes sense. His character makes sense, but we really gotta stray away from them. You know, the nanotechnology is getting so out of hand, and it's just, the CGI is also just getting worse and worse in Marvel because they have so many projects. I mean, just look at that one explosion scene in Black Widow.
Don't do it! This was fun! No!
Fucking dude, holy shit, what the fuck was that? What was that? I could do a better fucking editing job than that, bro. Holy shit. Personally, I just think we should stray away from it. We should go more back into practical suits, really bring that vibrancy, that color, and go to the comic accurate suits more, because that's what's popping right now. You know, even if you just want to be a fucking trend hopper, Disney and Marvel, people appreciate it, because the comic suits, they're fucking cool. That shit looks cool. Let's go back into it. You know, let's remember that we're not gonna just make some bullshit to throw out into the community, make a few hundred fucking million and get it back. Look, this is an art. Movies are an art form, you know. And I'm really starting to feel more and more like I agree with what Martin Scorsese said. Okay, I can't find the direct quote, but it was something along the lines of action movies or superhero movies aren't really a film. You know, it's not really film, it's more so of a theme park ride. And I honestly, I really understand what he means, because a lot of these movies don't really, like, feel like an impactful movie. A lot of times it just feels like this ride you go on and watch for a little bit, and, like, you know what's gonna happen, you know, and there's not really too much thought put into it anymore. It just seems like this is the next superhero movie of the year. Go watch my other videos, join my Discord, and watch my Don't join my Discord video. It's pretty fire.